Hi friends, this is Chris. Welcome back to the channel. So we got some earnings reports coming in from Amazon, Apple, and Intel. I want to go over this and some other things, and let's just jump right in. So this is a headline from Apple today. Apple sales top estimates after new iPads help boost results. And also we have this, Apple's iPhone sales continue to slide, raising stakes for coming AI futures. And look at this chart here, guys. This is Apple's emerges from sales slump. You can see this is their revenue. It grew 5% this past quarter, but it's actually been kind of flat. You can see right there in the numbers, it hasn't been like a 2021 kind of thing where you got this massive growth. And this is the deal with Apple, and it's interesting. You're gonna find the same situation with Amazon, is you have a couple things you're looking at. One is, what new products does Apple have coming out that will inspire you to buy? So yes, maybe iPad sales are up, but iPad sales are a small portion of what Apple does. I mean, really, at this point, they're an iPhone company. Yes, they sell computers. Yes, it's true. They totally sell computers. I like Apple computers. I have Apple computers, but their phones are where it's at. And the big concern for Apple right now is, can they convince you to buy a new phone? I just mentioned in the prior video, I was actually kind of curious, do I want to buy a new phone this year, because I use iPhone, and I don't think I'm going to buy one this year. I just don't think there's anything inspiring for me to get it. The thing they're trying to get you to buy it is like, hey, we got these new AI features, they're going to be awesome. I'm not so sure, but we'll see. I mean, if the reviews come out, I'll think about it, but I don't know. It's going to be hard to convince me to get a new one just for the AI stuff. I really want my flippy phone. Next year, the rumor is, I guess, they're going to have a thinner phone. Man, I want my flippy phone. Unless the thing comes in like super, super thin and like super, super light, and AI, and then you might have me interested. So that's the deal with Apple. Can they release products that you excited to buy it? The Vision Pro thing, I think that was a flop for them. It just came in at too much. It was like $3,500 or something like that. And I know a lot of people for YouTube basically bought it, reviewed it on YouTube, and then sent it back, because it's like, I don't want this $3,500 thing. If they bring out a Vision headset thing that's, I don't know, let's say under $500, maybe consider it. I think maybe under $300 will be a much bigger seller. Anything over $1,000, I mean, like, costs more than your phone. It's like, I don't need it. And I'll be curious your guys' thoughts on that, if you are indeed interested in goggles and kind of what price point that you would get you. And also too, what's going to inspire you to buy a new phone? I hear a lot of people out there that basically say, hey, my phone is good, I'm going to run it till it's dead. All right, what's going on with Amazon here? These are the headlines for Amazon. Amazon projects profit that misses estimates, signaling AI costs. So that sort of tells you the story there. Amazon shares slide on revenue miss, disappointing guidance for third quarter. And there's one more I want you to understand too. A federal regulator says Amazon can be held responsible for faulty goods sold on its marketplace. Here's the deal with Amazon. We all still use it. You guys, you may not know this. I live in Korea, but actually Amazon announced, I don't know, about 2 months ago or something like that, orders, I think it's over $50, you get free shipping to Korea, if you can believe that. Essentially, they're broadening their distribution to send anywhere. And since many of this stuff comes from China anyway, it might actually be cheaper theoretically for Amazon to send stuff to me from China. Now, regards to that though, as you saw with the federal regulator thing, Amazon may be responsible in the future with more regulations. Do they send me counterfeit goods, right? So like, I think I'm getting a pair of Nike shoes from Amazon, but it turns out not, right? Well, they look like Nike, they may even come from the same company, or same factory, I should say, because this can happen sometimes where the counterfeit stuff can actually come from the same place, but they just use cheaper materials, that's the kind of thing. Or they send you something that's expired, or something that's just outright faulty. And one thing that I think is really interesting is Amazon now sells, I think the number was something like 60% of their goods are coming from third-party sellers, so not necessarily from the Amazon warehouse. I've noticed this quite a bit too when you go to the Amazon store. It'll say like, see all buying options, and then you'll see all this stuff. And some of the stuff can be kind of sketchy, so definitely read the reviews if you're not buying it directly from Amazon. If it comes from Amazon, generally speaking, I think you're covered pretty well in terms of like how fast the thing comes, the shipping, and then how well you can return it. But third party, I think it's a whole other game in terms of quality and your return sort of thing. And then also too, regarding the Amazon, also relates to China, they're getting pushback because they're competing against other, discount, what's the right word? We'll just say, because I don't know if I would call Amazon a discount retailer. I'll just say there are Chinese online companies that you can buy products from. Like is it like Alipay or AliExpress? I don't actually use it. I just know what it is. And Temu, I think, is the other one. And I heard that Temu actually put ads in the Super Bowl in the USA. And if you guys saw those, you can let me know. But the point being, though, is that they're facing other online competition. I had heard that TikTok also wants to have an online store. So Amazon does face some competition there. And the other thing is, too, is their margins are shrinking, right? And part of this is just how the game is played. You guys know this, it's like basically price matching. So, you know, if I buy soap from, say, for example, Temu or the local grocery store or Amazon, it's all literally the same soap, right? Whatever soap that you buy, and you're just gonna go wherever is cheaper. For me personally, I tend to buy a lot of stuff online. Here in Korea, we have multiple choices of companies to buy from, and now also Amazon. So the competition is fierce. These kind of companies like Apple and Amazon, they're not gonna go to zero, they're not going anywhere, just their growth may be slowing, right? And also too, this is the stalwart companies to where, like, if we all believe they're good companies, we all still invest in them, and they make a big part of many fund managers' funds. Also too though, Intel. Now, will Intel go to zero? That's an interesting question because they got some really awful news here. I'll read the headlines. Intel says revenue will fall short of expectations, cuts jobs, and their profit numbers were nuts. It was something like, I think Wall Street expected 30 cents per share on the upside profit, and they came in like at a 3-cent loss. It's like, oh my God. So they're cutting the dividend, is my understanding. They're also firing 15% of their workforce, which is pretty crazy. And 3 cents a share loss. And then get this too. This was the quote from Pat Gensler, the CEO over at Intel. He said, revenue is not where we want it to be. Financials weren't where we want them to be to get us to where we have to be a sustainable model for business going forward. Like, doesn't that sound bad? And they were saying that's why we got to do job cuts to be sustainable. So, like, are they going to zero? I don't know. The Intel thing too, and everyone brought up, like, because I mentioned Intel with the layoffs in the past video, that like the government gave them a whole bunch of like billions of dollars kind of money, and you know they come out with this, like, laying off people. It's not a good look. And this is a problem I've had, you know, and I've mentioned several times on the channel. I'm not a fan of corporate welfare to where, like, we reward companies that aren't any good just because they're American. And I'm looking at you, Ford, GM, and Intel. So, you guys, when people say, you know, I hate on Tesla and that means I must love Ford or GM, it's just simply not true. I just think in terms of, like, as an investor, you want to invest in companies that are well run. Invest in companies that put out a good product. I don't think it's a crazy thing to say. And, you know, especially from a consumer standpoint, for example, we'll talk about car, easy to talk about. Like, there was a time when I was a kid where people are like, you know, for real, they're like, oh, you got to buy American. American's the best car in the whole world. And it's like, you know, when it comes down to it, just for example, because this is when the Japanese cars started to take off, like these days, if you can get a Toyota or Honda, it could last you, you know, 10 years or whatever. And, you know, maybe go 200, 300,000 miles, and you know, maybe looking at like another manufacturer, and you're only looking at like maybe 100,000 miles if you're lucky. like it matters, guys. It matters, like the quality of said things. And then I don't think the young kids today talk so much about, like, we have to buy USA. And so, and it's the same, guys. And I'm not against American companies. Like, for example, Nvidia puts out some pretty good products. That's why they dominate, right? And it's an American company. But you know, in the same regard, like, the government doesn't have to, like, shovel them money all the time and then they fire a bunch of people. You guys understand what I'm saying? Like, so in my opinion, I don't think the government should just bail out companies just because they're American if they're, you know, poorly managed, put out bad products, et cetera. So I said enough on that. There is something, though, I do want to mention, which is related to all this AI stuff. This was a headline that really caught my attention, and something that if you want to solve, I think, what is a pressing problem, right? Elon Musk says we have to build robots because robots are awesome, but I actually disagree. Not that robots are awesome. I do think robots are awesome, but like, I don't think that's necessarily the robots and robotaxis are the solution of all our problems. I think actually one of the big things that, if I were Musk, what I would be focusing on is energy. This is the headline: existing data centers suck up 17% more power, Southern says. So, if indeed we're going to go into this world where we're all going to be having, you know, our AI phones and our AI computers and all of our electric cars and, you know, electrics, whatever, I think energy is going to be a big problem going forward. If you can figure out a way to have clean, sustainable energy at an affordable cost, right? All of those things, I think you've got a real winner of a company. Is Tesla going to be that? who knows, and that's the stuff I wish they would talk about. If Musk were serious about, making for a cleaner planet, greener planet, a more efficient planet, these kind of things, like talk about energy more, but dude's all talking about politics all the time and putting out meme stocks or whatever. So I talk enough about Musk. On a positive note, well, I'll say it's positive, but I'll just say there's caveats with it. The journalist from the Wall Street Journal, so Evan Gershkovich, he was released in a prison swap. I think it was like 26 prisoners, and it was something like, I think we got 14 prisoners to come to our side. So the reporter, the Wall Street Journal reporter, is one of them, and then I think we sent like 8 to the other side. And is it a fair trade, not a fair trade? I honestly, I read through some of the stuff. That's hard to say, and I'll let you be the judge of that. But it's like, we're sending people back to, say, Russia that are like hackers and, criminal kind of people, and they're sending people, us, that were political dissidents against the bad regime in Russia, that kind of thing. So, I mean, it's hard to really measure who got a good deal on that thing, but I'll just say in terms of having people home and safe, it reminds me of that's what truly matters in life. So I don't want to make a joke about that at all. I've always been that stuff when I talk about money with you guys on this channel and these things is we talk about markets, we talk about the companies and stuff like that, but I always want you to think at the end of the day, do what's best for you and your family, and this is what hopefully this is all about. For you, it's not a game. Think about like how can you secure a life for yourself. The other thing that's really interesting is Snap shares were down 20%. I know what Snap is. I've tried it on my phone. I think it's for kids. How they make money over there, it's beyond me. It is a competitive environment, and I'll leave it at that, but they're down 20%. One thing that's really interesting, and I learned this from watching the news, never, ever, ever, no matter what they advertise, never, ever, ever fly Spirit Airlines. Never, ever, ever fly them, no matter how cheap of a fare, even if they pay you to go on their flight. Don't do it, guys. Don't do it. It's just like, I see so many nightmare scenarios where like your flight gets canceled, et cetera. And it's like, if you're gonna go on vacation, you're gonna book a hotel and you're gonna like make plans to meet family or taking family or friends or honeymoons or whatever. And like if your flight is canceled or, maybe only one person can go and you can't go and you have to go separate planes or whatever, it's just not worth it. It turns out now they're gonna be, I guess it says Spirit Airlines trims workforce as quarterly loss widens. Airline is furloughing 240 pilots and downgrading 100 captains. Downgrading your captains, furloughing your pilots? Yeah, you can't fly them. It's only going to get worse over there. It's not worth it. Don't do it. But on a positive note, though, this is actually kind of an interesting one. So I've mentioned these guys before on the channel. I'm a big fan of Lena Khan. She's all about regulation and is cracking down, like say on your Amazon, your Apples, these kind of things. And moreover, this was actually an interesting one. The Biden people, they've been actually trying to cut out junk fees. And one of the fees that airline have done, and for those of you who fly the American Airlines, you can let me know if you've had to experience this. So I'll read the headline first and we'll talk about it. It says, Biden administration pushes airlines to seat kids next to parents at no extra cost. I didn't even know there was an extra cost. So I guess the basic gist of it is like, if you're a parent and a kid and you request, hey, can we sit together so I can like put a seatbelt on my kid or whatever, sometimes the airline will try to charge you $25 for that. What? And like, then they're saying like, if you have a family of 4, that's like an extra $200 on an airfare. It's kind of ridiculous. But it's think of it this way. It's like airlines always come with some excuse to charge you more money, right? You show up at the airport and they're like, oh, your bag's too big, $40, or your bag's too heavy, $100 or whatever. And that one always bugs me. I'll be honest. That one, the luggage thing always bugs me because like, I'll try to say this politely. I'll just say I'm not a very heavy person, and I think a fair way to do it would be like total weight of person and bag. But guys, I completely understand. I think you would get into all sort of crazy discriminatory lawsuits, and it would just be a complete mess. So they just do luggage and poundage. But just something that I always consider, and I'll leave it at that. But the extra baggage fee stuff always irritates me, and but I understand. I get that you don't necessarily want people to bring in like I would say gold bars, but I don't know how many people take gold bars on the plane these days. Maybe a whole bunch of people do, but stuff really heavy. I'll just leave it at that. But it's funny though when you look out sort of like what's going on in the market and all of these things that we see. It's pressures from China. You have the economy collapsing over there, right? Then you also have Chinese companies competing where they're offering lower cost goods, so that puts pressures on the American companies. And then you have the American companies that, in my opinion, and it's not really an opinion, it's just a number, I think there are many companies around the market that are overvalued right now, a little bit hot. And, and then they have the issue of like, okay, in order to justify said valuations, we have to like put out these AI products that we hope you all buy. I'm not sold on the AI stuff. I know other people are. I'm just not one of those people, but I think it depends sort of what field you're in. I think if you're in coding, something like that, I think AI has been really useful for those kind of people. Customer service, I think it's going to take away a lot of jobs. Automation is a big part of life, so I don't disagree that it's here. But whether or not the regular person on the street is like, oh my God, I need to upgrade my phone because I want those AI features so I can, manipulate photos and send out fake, stuff all the time. Say, get AI and you can make us make photos and videos that you want. I don't know how many people want to do that, or, how many people want to have like a better Siri that you can talk to. And, right now, like, I don't want to say it again. I might got my phone right here, but I'll just say the AI assistant on my phone is not great. And I think it'd probably be cool if it works better. But do I want to pay $300 extra for it? And also too, is it worth it for Apple or whatever company to put billions of dollars into this thing, expecting me to buy said thing for that feature? I mean, if I had a choice, I'm just talking as a regular person here. Let's say you go to the store and you have a couple different phones to choose from. You have like regular phone is what you got now, and it comes in $300 or $400 cheaper than the fully upgraded models. The same way with like, I can get the top of the line iPhone with like super crazy camera, but I don't really need super crazy camera. I think the standard camera is actually pretty good, and so that's my opinion. And then you put that together with like, how much money do consumers really have to spend on these extra features? Now, if iPhone is what they'll probably do, or many companies will probably do eventually, they'll sort of make it like you have no choice but to have your AI stuff in there. It'll be all integrated. And then they just jack the price up on everything and they cut the lowest models. They've done that before. Like for example, I have, I'll show you my phone, there's my phone right here, but I have the iPhone 13 mini and they don't even make the dang thing anymore. And I think it's the best phone in their lineup. Of course it is, right? The smallest one is the one they don't make. Now they try to sell you mostly the SE, which is not a bad phone actually. But it's not exactly, as good as the other ones. But I think eventually, and that's what Apple does, they also cut the smallest ones, and they just keep making the phones bigger and bigger. And I don't want a bigger phone. I want a flippy phone. I don't want AI. I want my flippy phone. So if any of you work for Apple, please send message to was it Timmy? Yeah, Timmy. I forgot his name. Tim Cook. He actually went to my school. True story. And I know people who know him. I don't know him personally, but I do know people who know him. And everyone says he's a nice guy. So there's that. Anyway, everyone, I always appreciate watching every day, and love to hear your thoughts on any of these stories that we talked about. I think the big one, honestly, is the Intel thing. I think they're awful over there, and want to hear people's thoughts on that. So thanks again, and I'll catch you next video.